Alright everyone, thanks for joining me. I am attempting a run through of the RGB High Score Challenge, and if you don't know what that is, head over to Twitter and find at Retro Game Brews. That's Retro Game Brews. Ryan there, he's putting on a little challenge for everyone in the retro gaming community to take part in. Well, anyone to take part in. And basically it'll be a series of different Super Nintendo games that everyone will attempt and submit their high scores on, and at the end of it all there's prizes for the winner. So it's a pretty cool challenge. It's a fun way to experience some of these old games again. And this week it's Final Fight 2 for the Super Nintendo. So you can see it. I have it loaded up here on the screen, so I think I'm just going to get into it and see how it goes. Now the rules are you play it on normal, and you get one attempt, no continues. Once your lives are gone, then that's it. Your attempt is over, and that's your score. So this will be my my submission. We'll see what happens. Now it's been a long time since I've played this one, and I can't remember who is the best character to play as. I feel like Carlos was pretty good because he's got the sword. But then there's Hagar, who's always cool. I'm gonna go with Carlos. See if that's a good choice or not. All right, Final Fight 2 is a sequel to the a game by Capcom called Final Fight. Final Fight was a pretty popular arcade game. I don't know if Final Fight 2 was ever in the arcade, to be totally honest, or if that was a a home console exclusive version. So far, it's been pretty easy. You know what, I'm going to take a quick second here. I feel like my controls are a little messed up. I'm using an emulator here. I feel like some of my buttons are not working, so just hold on. Let me remap my buttons, make sure I got it all right. Let's see here. A, B, X, Y, L, R. Okay. And I'm going to restart my attempt here because... Alright, this is my... We'll restart it here because I want to just remap those buttons because a couple of my buttons weren't working, so... Anyways, let's see here. Just move my chat here just in case anyone shows up. I can see it in the chat. Let me know if my stream is not working well. I've been having a little trouble with my streams lately. My internet hasn't been super cooperative, but I really wanted to get this game up on stream just for fun and to have like a record of my score for everyone to see. So, alright, let's try that again. So far I can't figure out how to use my sword. I don't know if there's still a button not working, or if there's something else I'm missing here. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that's the trick. It's just my special move. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that takes help when I use the special attack, so I'm gonna attempt to kind of keep that to a minimum. Oh, that guy, Johnny. His name is Johnny with a Jony. And he blocks. Look at this Chun-Li in the background. It's pretty cool. I don't remember that. So I played this game back in the day. I know I rented it at least once as a kid. Final Fight was always a fun game. The Super Nintendo version of the first Final Fight. Okay, so Final Fight was a 2-player beat-em-up arcade game. Plays just like this, but it's just a couple different characters. Hagar's in it. In the arcade, you had Cody and Guy to choose from. It was ported to the Super Nintendo pretty early on in the Super Nintendo's life. The problem with the Super Nintendo version was that they didn't make it 2 players, which was a big part of the game. I don't know if it was just, at the time, they just couldn't, you know, it was an early game, and fairly impressive looking, too. It might be that they weren't able to manage that when they ported it, and get the 2-player functionality working properly for the release on the Super Nintendo. But it was kind of always a sore spot for a lot of gamers. It was still a fun game. I think there was a few different changes with it as well. A few different changes to, I don't know if there's changes to the enemies or levels or something, but I think there were some other changes as well as the fact that you could only play 1 player. But so that was always kind of a sore spot, like I said. But they eventually released it on, I think the Sega CD got a pretty faithful arcade version, arcade port of Final Fight. But then they released Final Fight 2 for the Super Nintendo, and that's what we're playing right now. Like I said, I don't know if this was ever actually an arcade game or if this was a console exclusive title. But it's a fun one. It's a good one. And this one is 2 players if you want it. Obviously for this challenge, I'm just doing single player, and also because I don't have anyone to really sit and play games with like this very often, but... Now, I know some other people have already submitted their scores for the RGB High Score Challenge, but I haven't really checked because I wanted to kind of do my attempt and see what I could get before I start worrying about what other people were scoring. But the scoring system is, I think this is how it works. Don't hold me to it. You'll have to check his Twitter post just to make sure. That's at RetroGameBrews. But if you go there and check it out, I believe the scoring is the top 10. First place, highest score gets 10 points, all the way down to number 10 gets 1 point. And he'll be keeping track of that through, I don't know how many different games will be part of this challenge, but it'll be a bunch of different titles that over the course of probably at least a few weeks. And at the end of it, it'll all be tallied up, and I think the top 3 people are eligible to win some cool prizes. I think it's some Super Nintendo games, so that's a pretty cool prize. Some actual Super Nintendo cartridges, so that's pretty exciting. Okay. So far, so good. I mean, I haven't died yet. I have 5 lives. I got an extra life somewhere along the line here. That guy. That guy is a... kind of reminds me of Zangief from Street Fighter 2. Now, if you're going to take part in the challenge, you can use emulation. All it has to be, though, is the original game. It can't be a modified game. You can't use any cheat codes. There's no continues. It's just a straight run through, and it's just see how high a score you can get. You can play on normal or difficult. And I don't know if you get a high, if you get more points in the more difficult mode or not, or if it's just if you want to be hard on yourself. You know, you could do difficult if you feel so inclined. But I don't think you get any extra recognition, I should say, in the scoring of the RGB High Score Challenge. So. Oh yeah, look at that. Nothing like a little food out of a barrel on a dock. That, you know that that's good quality food. Oh, look at that guy. Ooh, Leon is kind of a tough guy. Until I kick him in the face. Until I kick him in the face. Oh, this is a pretty sweet weapon. What is that? Point. Incense. I don't know what that is. Incense? I got some incense. Whack. Whack. This weapon's pretty cool. It's pretty overpowered, but... Ooh, Atlas. Yeah, I can't remember, you know, if this, oh, this must be the boss. Wan? I'm assuming that's the boss. He's pretty big. Oh, Wan's gonna kill me pretty quickly here. Wan's got a lot of health. Oh my goodness. Alright, life 1 down. Oop, looks like Wan's health is changing colors at least. Oh, come on! Oh, come on. Oh, alright. Wan's health is going down now. I'm not ashamed to go cheap and like do cheap repeating attacks against these guys. You know. I don't usually condone that stuff in like actual fighting games, playing against another player, but you know, in a game like this, it's all for yourself. So Final Fight, a little more about it. It's a Capcom title, and it was kind of like a direct competitor to Streets of Rage, which was a Sega title for the Genesis. I believe Final Fight came out first, and Streets of Rage was in answer, or you know, to compete with Final Fight. But they both are kind of like the standout, most notable beat 'em ups of like the 16-bit era, in my opinion. Now, whether or not you like Streets of Rage better than this, you know, I think a lot of people do prefer Streets of Rage over the Final Fight games, but Final Fight games are great too. They're a lot of fun. Alright, round 1 done. After defeating Wan, Maki, Carlos, and Hager, learned that the Mad Gears gang base of operations had been moved to Europe. Wan told them that Rina and Gyusu are being taken there. The final fight for the lives of the Gyusu and Rina are about to begin. Alright. It's intense. Now we're in France at 5 p.m. I like how there's a time. I like that's somehow pertinent to the level. Oh, come on, come on, come on. That guy just kicked me in the face. And one of the standout features of this game is has always kind of been the large sprites that the game used, which look very impressive for a Super Nintendo game. I think the arcade versions were even more detailed in the sprite work, but this looks pretty good. I mean, this is pretty nice looking. Large sprites. I mean, the sprites are nearly half the size of the screen, with pretty good animation. So that was always kind of one of the standout. One of the reasons this game stood out, at least to me, was the visual quality was always very good. You know, just in line with how Capcom does things. You know, Street Fighter, most of their games have a pretty high level of quality for the visuals. Oh gosh. I remember that guy. He was in Streets of Rage, or not Streets of Rage, Final Fight 1. I think his name is Andre. Looks kind of like Andre the Giant. Oh, Andor. I think he's supposed to be kind of like an homage to Andre the Giant. If I'm being honest. Oh, come on. I don't think he's the boss. I think he's just like a mid-level boss. Okay. So anyways, if you're just joining me now, this is part of the RGB High Score Challenge. If you'd like to learn more about what that is, head over to Twitter and look up @RetroGameBrews. It is a little contest that fine gentleman is putting on for the retro gaming community to take part in. And you basically play a bunch of different Super Nintendo games over the course of a couple weeks, or a few weeks. I don't know how long the entire thing will last, but and everyone's scores get added up at the end, and whoever the top 3 people are, I believe, are going to get to choose from some Super Nintendo games as a prize. So that's pretty exciting. I definitely am interested in that. I'm a collector of video games, and I could always use a few more Super Nintendo games in my library. So I'm excited to see if I can come out in one of the top 3 spots. But there's some good people that play these games, so I'm sure that it's going to be a difficult challenge, to say the least. Ooh, I got an extra life. Oh, come on. Sure. Look at this guy. He's got like a battery charger, or a battery hooked up to electrodes. That guy ain't joking around. So one of the things I'll say about this game is the visuals. I think, you know, there's a visual stuff, you know, if we're talking about the Streets of Rage to Final Fight comparison. The visuals in Final Fight, I think, are a little bit more impressive than Streets of Rage. But the Streets of Rage definitely have their own style, and they're super iconic. So I won't say it's better, but but the music in this game isn't as good as Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage has an amazing soundtrack. The music is okay. It's pretty generic sounding, whereas Streets of Rage is very notable, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Oh my gosh, that guy is so big. Whew. He almost shocked me. Oh, come on. Elic. No fence is gonna stop me. Hopefully my stream is alright. I'm having, like I said at the beginning, some internet issues getting a good stream going. My upload rate isn't that great, so but it's been a while since I streamed, so I thought I would fire up the Twitch channel when I did this challenge and see if that works out. So hopefully it's not too choppy or anything like that. If it is and it's not, we'll see if it's submittable. If my stream is too bad, I may have to try this again sometime, but we'll see. This board is kind of overpowered. Just stand right in the middle and thunk, thunk, thunk. I like how they're just sitting around like hanging out instead of just like being already ready to go. Like so many fighting games, I mean, or beat 'em ups, the guys just are kind of like standing there waiting when you walk into the screen. They don't have like an idle animation or position, which is, you know, the little subtle details that make some of these games stand out from others. Ah, oh, my board is gone. That guy's got a knife. Yeah. Draw. Oh, I want that food. Food. Another standout feature of this game, I'd say, is the controls. It plays really well. Responsive controls. There's not really any lag or any sort of difficulty accomplishing your moves. So it's. Oh, come on, come on! Oh man, I'm gonna burn through some lives here. Don't get rid of this guy. Oh. Oh, another life down. Trying to figure out if there's any other additional moves I'm not aware of that I could be doing. I don't think so. I should have read the manual before I played it. That might have helped. Oh well, no biggie. I seem to be doing okay, I think. Oh, that's the boss, Freddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, come on. This guy is tough. Oof, another life gone. His health bar is not even started to go down yet. Oh, come on. Okay, is it? I think it changed color. Not good. Not good. Oh, come on. This might turn out to be the end of my run. Yep, that's it. That was the end of my run. Nope. Can't continue. That's the end of my run. That's too bad. But, not terrible. I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't played the game in forever. I have to look at my score here and see what I got. Hopefully it shows a high score. I'll have to go back and look at the footage, I guess, if it doesn't. Let's see here. That's cool animation too there. I like that. Oh, it didn't keep my score. Let's see if it says. Oh, it doesn't show high. Okay. That's okay. I'll look back at the footage to find the screenshot. It's something over 500,000, I think. So, but I will look back at the footage after this, and I'll post that on the Twitter post, and this feed over on the Twitter post. But yeah, if you want to take part in this challenge, it would be awesome. The more the merrier. It's a really cool thing that Ryan from Retro Game Brews podcast is putting on for the community. So feel free to head over there and check it out. Again, at Retro Game Brews, look it up. And if you were watching this, thanks for taking the time to check it out. I hope you had fun watching it. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one.